everybody, welcome back. This is Chef April with Cultivate, and we are doing another video segment for HealthLinc. So welcome back. This one we are actually going to do is the teriyaki chicken and rice skillet. So if you need to stop and mise en place and get your ingredients ready, please feel free to press pause and come back when you are ready. Otherwise, we're gonna go on and get to cooking. So maybe dinner time is just around the corner for you, or maybe you're preparing it for a friend or someone else. Then we wanna give you some really good tips and tricks to kind of create this wonderful, wonderful meal. Full of nutrition and well balanced, and it's gonna be great for your table. A lot of visual appeal. And then we're actually gonna have texture on the chicken breast, which we have spoken about before. But let's go ahead and get cooking. First off, we're gonna turn on your range and your skillet. You want a nice sized skillet for this one. We're gonna be adding in vegetables and rice and chicken, so make sure it's a nice deep pot if possible, nice skillet size. I already mise en place the onion, so in one of our cooking segments, I showed you how to cut down an onion and make that into small dice, and so those are here. And then what else we're gonna do is, I have 4 cloves of garlic, which is gonna be in the recipe. And so what you're gonna do is to cut the garlic, you're gonna take your knife, put it flat down on the garlic bulb, or the garlic clove, and then you're gonna smash it. There we go. And that's gonna take off that paper, and you're gonna be able to peel that off nice and easy. You don't want the paper off the clove. Turn that down for a minute. Actually, I'm gonna add the onion now because it'll start sauteing. You start to hear that sizzle. And the garlic, you don't really want to add the garlic first off anyways, because it will actually burn, and you do not want burned garlic in your kitchen. It's just not a pleasant smell. And then you have to wipe out the pan because it darkens and turns black. It's just not very nice. So we've got 1 garlic. We've got 2. And this is going to be a good time to let your onions just to kind of start dancing in that oil. All right, I've got all that paper. Next, you're going to take your knife, give it a good hold around the neck, the bolster it's called, and then you're going to, actually I put my fingertips on the end or on the beak of it, and then you're just going to start doing chops, and you're going to get that to a nice small dice, almost like a minced garlic. I bring it together, rub off your knife, and go ahead and do it again. It smells so good, the garlic. All right. We're gonna pick that up and throw it into our onions. Now again, you wanna saute so that your aromatics, your garlic and your onion really become nice, soft, and fragrant. So you wanna release the natural juices and the oils in them. And that's why you're gonna just let them saute just a little bit in that oil. Hopefully my burner doesn't run out, okay? Okay, so following up the recipe, we have the onion in there, the garlic, and then we're actually gonna add some of the ground ginger. So you would have received one of these little guys, and we're gonna add in 1 teaspoon. So again, teaspoon is TSP when you look on it on your spoons. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll go over like a board or something if something I'm pouring out, because otherwise if you're over the pan, you're gonna end up dumping probably way more in, especially if it's like cayenne or chili powder or something that's like really over in abundance, or salt even. So you can just don't go over the pan when you're adding it. Just take it and just kind of measure it out away from it. All right, I got 1 teaspoon. The onions are gonna start caramelizing. That's a really good thing. That's gonna create kind of a different flavor from definitely from the raw onion, but the caramelization of the onion makes it almost like really sweet. It brings out that sweet flavor of it. And then the nuttiness of the garlic comes through too. So again, you're getting you're building your flavors up, and that's how you're gonna cook. That's how you should be cooking any real soups as well. You start with the bottom and you just continue to build flavor, and things like sauteing and roasting and things like that. That's how you build your flavor, and you get things to end up being so good at the end. All right, so we're gonna take our chicken breast, and this time we've kept it whole the last couple times on our segments, but this time we're actually going to chop it up into pieces. Sometimes it works better if it's nice and cold, like chilled. It'll cut a lot easier too. All right, I am actually going to add just a tad more oil. I don't know if you can see that, but see how the caramelization of the onions and the garlic? It smells so good. I wish you could be here and smell it. I'm sure you're smelling it in your own kitchen, but it's pretty awesome. Okay, we don't want that garlic to burn, right? So we're gonna move kind of quickly. So the next step then is we're gonna add the chicken. We're gonna add that right into there. We're gonna give it a stir. And basically you just don't want it to be on top of each other, the chicken. You wanna get it down so it has, it's just sitting on the pot. And then remember, we're just gonna leave it. We don't wanna stir it anymore. We want it to stick and not to pull apart and get like really ugly looking chicken, right? So you wanna have a nice sear on it. So we're just gonna let that go for a little bit and while it's cooking. So following your recipe, oh yeah, we're gonna add the rice. So if you haven't already cooked your rice yet, again, I'm already ready and a step ahead of you, but you would have had like a microwave type bag. And so you just follow the recipes on the back. You just squeeze it to kind of tear apart those rice pieces inside. And then you open it up just a little bit like an air vent. And then if you have a microwave, you're just gonna put it in the microwave for about 90 seconds or whatever your package says on the back. And then when it comes out, it's gonna be this nice and fluffy rice. And that is actually what we're gonna be adding into our dish. In just a minute. We're gonna wait until some of that chicken is nice and cooked first. All right, so the chicken I see after a few minutes, and you're gonna see this too, is it starts to change color. That means it's cooking all the way up. When you cut the chicken, it's gonna cook a lot faster than a whole chicken breast. So this is a pretty quick one. Chop that up. All right, it's about halfway through. I'm gonna add the rice. And this is cooked rice, so make sure you're not adding raw rice or hard rice. You wanna make sure it is cooked. All right, give that a nice stir and just let that sit. And actually in just a few minutes, you're probably gonna hear the rice, it'll start to pop. And so when rice gets in with oil and a hot pan, it actually starts to kind of crisp up. And that's what gives it really good texture with this dish as well. So we're gonna let that just kind of sit and hang out for a while. Make sure what you can do is get your water ready. So we're gonna add in 2.5 cups of water, which I have here. And then when that is done, then we're gonna go ahead on to number 5, which is getting our teriyaki sauce made. So if you're hanging out with me here, we're gonna add in our water. It's gonna kind of stick to the bottom, but that's okay because the water will help release it. And again, that just creates something called fond, which is flavor bits. So you want those. All right, and my chicken is fully cooked now too. I'm sure yours is. We're gonna add in our water. Give it just one little stir, and then you're gonna put on a lid. Make sure it's at about a medium temperature. You don't want it too low where it's not gonna cook and boil, and you don't want it too high where it's actually gonna start evaporating that water. So medium is gonna be just fine. All right, so we're gonna make the teriyaki sauce to go with it. So what we're gonna do is while it's simmering over the low heat, we're gonna do our sauce in a small bowl. We're gonna add in our soy and the brown sugar in here, and then we're gonna whisk it all together. So if you have your measuring cups out again, we're gonna do, where is it? A 1/4 cup of soy sauce, and we have the low sodium, and 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. It's a really, really easy teriyaki sauce where you don't have to go to the grocery store and just buy a bottle of teriyaki. You can just, when you have these ingredients, you can just make this all on your own at home. Okay, so 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. We're gonna do a 1/4 cup. Find the 1/4, which is a 1/4 on the measuring cups. And you should have the low sodium in your kit. Low sodium is a really good choice. It's already gonna have enough salt in it, so it's still gonna taste like soy sauce, I promise. But any way that you can cut out sodium in your diet is a huge plus. So we're gonna add that. We're gonna use a little whisk, or you can use a spoon, whatever you have. Give it a good little whisk up. All right, that's about it. We're gonna let that sit off to the side. Your frozen vegetables, your stir fry, we're actually gonna add in there now. So I had a nice little boil there. I had my scissors. I'll just use my knife. Multi-purpose, right? All right, we're gonna add in our vegetables. Give that a stir. All right, I'm gonna turn that up a little bit more. All right, and then we're gonna pop on the lid for just another minute. Okay, so making sure that you go through your recipe so you didn't forget anything. We did the teriyaki sauce. We're gonna let that cook and let that rice soak up the liquid as well. And then we're going to cut up our green onions, and we're gonna add that to the sauce. So green onions are part of the bulb family, and they add, if you don't like onion, they add just a really nice soft onion flavor. I really like green onion. Plus the color makes it really eye appealing, so it's a nice garnish for any real dish. So you're gonna hold your knife down by the bolster again, put it up next to your claws on your fingers, and you're gonna make just small little cuts, like little tiny ringlets of the green onion. And you only want to use the green portion. You don't want to necessarily use the white. This is a really good vegetable too, if you like gardening. You can take the tips of it here, and I'll show you. We're gonna use that now. So you can actually take the tips, the ends of it, and you can put them in a glass of water and just leave them there, and you'll start to see like the roots really start to grow and grow really, really long. And it'll start to sprout out the top too. And so when they're done and the ground is ready, then you can put them in the ground and you can have some fresh green onions too. So we're gonna add some of those green onions into our teriyaki sauce. All right, let's see where we are. Ooh. All right, so you're gonna see all this yumminess coming through here. So if you think it's a little wet to your liking, you can just kind of let it sit and simmer, because simmering will allow the moisture to evaporate, and then it will just kind of condense the flavor. It'll get rid of the moisture, and then keep cooking all those vegetables that are in there as well. So I'm gonna let this keep cooking on this end, but what you can do is you can take some of the green onion and the teriyaki, just kind of pour it over the top, just a little bit for some flavor. But then also when your dish is done and it's soft and fluffy and some of the moisture is out, definitely just plate it up, and then you can top it with your teriyaki sauce and you are ready for dinner. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bon appetit.